How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlett, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today we're back with another countdown for Pokémon Legends Z-A. And of course, these videos are videos where we go through and count down everything leading up until the release of Pokémon Legends Z-A. If you guys are ready, let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to be talking about today is this post that was made over on 4chan. It includes this image above me, you can see right here with the following text saying, "A strict reserved PLZA press from the Pokemon Company Incorporated investors meeting," from Anonymous, saying, "Not all buildings will be accessible. It's not just a city, but there are some other wild areas out there. Not to mention, no mention of new Pokemon, however, still in initial phase of development." Highly doubt that's true, though. I think these games usually are in development for a while longer, and we're actually going to take a look at a post today, I think, from one of our fellow friends who actually made a really good post about how long these games do take in development. Now, what are we actually looking at with this image? Well, here's what the image looks like. So it is a image of what seems to be one of the characters from Pokemon Black or Black 1, Black 2, whatever, Black and White 1 and 2. Our fella is just standing here. He's just chilling. He looks to be in almost like a T-pose. It looks like he's been posed slightly. As you may notice, his arm is kind of on the side here. You can't really see it. And just looking at the rest of this image, what do we actually see? Well, the actual UI, first of all, for some reason, the UI on the left side here, the part that shows like, the inventory, the Pokedex, the Pokeballs, as well as this, again, star logo. You guys will recognize that star logo right there. You will see it like right above me. So right here. Now, this star logo is actually present in all of the trailers, right? It seems to be a quasar, which is a form of thing that happens within space itself. But this seems to be possibly the logo of whoever the team, the evil team, the good team, the whatever team that's going to be around in this game is actually going to be like. Now, do I think this image is real? No. Why in all doohickey would we have him here? Why would we have a Gen 5 character playable as? Like, why would we have his character being here? I know there's somebody theorized and said, like, hey, it wouldn't be too crazy to have, the Gen 5 Pokemon Black and White characters showing up, because technically they did go away for a while to a different region, and maybe this is what they did. I highly doubt that is the case. I don't really know where the timeline lines up between Black and White and X and Y and whenever this redevelopment plan is going to be actually taking place in the game, but nonetheless, though, it just doesn't really make sense, does it? It seems a little bit far-fetched. However, what does the actual text say here? Well, first of all, there's a lot of like stuff here that's been kind of smudged out on the screen. As you may notice, there's like a lot of red that's blocking out certain parts of the image that, I guess are supposed to be, like, quote-unquote, supposed to be showing information that's important. Now, again, there is a slim chance this could be real, and the model we see, their 3D model, could just be a prototype test model, right? That could be the case. There's always a chance for that. Just keep in mind, there's always a chance, and you should always leave it up for the realm of possibility. And the reason I say this is because of images like this one. So if we look up the Lapras leak, and actually, funny enough, the image that is in the bottom corner is a literal Lapras, which makes me think this is a bit more fake. But if you guys actually look at this Lapras leak, now you guys may remember this, or you may not remember this, but I'm going to open up the image nonetheless. Now, this was an image that people thought was fake. People thought this was an actually fake image. They were like, no, it's not real. It's too blurred. It can't be real. It's BS. It looks too similar, and it makes no sense. The characters look like they're just out of Sun and Moon. It doesn't look real. Guess what? That exact image was literally Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, right? People were like literally comparing that image to this one, right? They were comparing it to Sun and Moon. So you see, like, I can see why people thought maybe like, hey, this is definitely a fake. They just changed it a little bit, but the reality of it was that was an actual image. This is a real leak that happened of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, like an actual legitimate leak. And once again, like I said, it ended up being real, just like you guys can see right here. The actual thing was real. This is, what we ended up getting. And people, again, didn't believe it at first. People didn't actually believe this image. So what I'm trying to say is that always take these things with a grain of salt. If this is an early image, right, I don't really know what all the text says here. There is some text up here that I wasn't able to translate. I do have a translation that I can show you guys on screen here if you give me 2 seconds to find it. But I do actually have a translation here of some of the text, and I thought we'd take a look at what it all says. So let's take a look at what the translation says. And again, I would prefer it if a Japanese person could take their time and just pause the video here and translate it. As far as I'm aware, the text above me says exploration. The text at the bottom there is probably the text for like Lumio City or whatever. And then on the other side here, we have some red text, and I don't really know what that red text is supposed to say or what it is saying. I have no context, no idea, no clue, but it does say something. So let's take a look at the translations. First of all, the top left one says exploration, right? That's what the top left one. Again, this is Google Translate, so this is very incorrect. Sorry, not incorrect. This is very, untrustworthy. I wouldn't trust the translation here, given that it's from Google Translate. If a Japanese person or a Japanese-speaking person could take a look instead, that would be much more appreciated because you can probably give a better context for what we're actually reading and if it's in proper Japanese. However, the other piece of text here says, a city map will help you find your way. And if we take a look at the image, there is a map of the city in the top right, and then some stuff, again, like I said, is blocked out. The image also seems to show that there is supposedly 8 out of 11 pages. Now, I'm just going to tell you, as much as I want to say this is fake, there is always a chance. And I would love to know if whoever made this, if it is a fake, if they would love to come out and just confirm that it is fake, because then I don't have to, stay up at night thinking about it or, worrying about it. But I would prefer it if somebody could just confirm that it is actually fake for a fact. Nonetheless, though, I will leave it up for speculation. Now, let's take a look a bit deeper on the actual image. Let's actually look at what's in this, picture right here. Now, the first thing we see is actually of course, the little interface at the bottom here, right? We have the the options menu, so to say. Oh, it's not the options menu, but kind of like the quick menu access buttons, right? One of them seems to be for the bag. The green one is for the bag. The red one is for the Pokeballs. The yellow one is for the Pokedex. And then the blue one is the weird one. That could be for quests or a menu, or I'm not really sure, but it seems to have that, again, that logo of Quasar. That's like the thing that we noticed at first. Then on the right side, if we go over here, we have a picture of Lapras. So this is probably the Pokemon that you're going to be sending out next. So this is your next chosen Pokemon. As for the map up here, now I want to actually do a little bit of an extra zoom in on this one. So we're going to open the image again. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go extremely zoomed in, right? We're going to zoom in all the way and see what the actual little map here looks like. So looking at the map, it does look like it kind of resembles the actual map from the trailer, which would make it feel more fake, but it does look a little bit odd. Weirdly enough, the thing that I noticed first on this is that it doesn't really show, unless this little white dot is supposed to be you, the character, it doesn't really match with what's on the screen. You know what I mean? It doesn't really match with what we're looking at. So that's, again, another reason for me to feel like it's fake. Again, the only reason I even give these things even the time of the day is because there's always a chance. And I always like to just cover it because, hey, who knows, man? Like I said, people genuinely thought that this was fake. People actually thought this was fake. And to prove that people thought it was fake, I'm going to actually show you guys the replies that were there when they first posted this. So this, for example, is from Nintendo Soup. And this is comparing the screenshot to the real thing, right? So, again, this is like the leaked image, and then there is the actual real image, which, yeah, you can see that there's, similarities, because it was basically the same. Then we can find the actual 4chan post, which is the crazier part. If we can find the 4chan post, you guys can see, or not the 4chan post, the actual Reddit post. Lapras Leak Reddit. So you can find it, because here we go. So this is the actual post that was made by people back when this came out. And somebody said, supposedly leaked image of Pokemon for Switch shows a trainer riding a Lapras on Kanto's Route 21. And then people were saying, cue the April Fool's leaks and whatnot. This looks like a purposely blurred picture of Sun and Moon from the 3DS emulator. Again, everybody here was saying it's fake. Get Sun and Moon, upscale an emulator, blur photo, full internet. Well, that's the thing. They were incorrect. Like, all these people in here were incorrect. Like, none of them. There's only one guy further down here. There's actually one person who genuinely thought this could be real. Like this guy right here, who actually deleted his profile, but he literally said, to say this is a fake just because of how it looks, there are a few things I thought I'd mention. Firstly, those are different models than the ones in Sun and Moon, and you can make out a bit of more detail. Also, that route does not appear at any of the Gen 7 games. Lastly, the image looks worse than it would in person because of the blur. It could be fake, but I'm betting on real. It lines up with a lot of leaks, and a lot of reputable people have said it's most likely real. Again, that's the point, right? I'm not saying this is real. I'm no way in hell am I saying this is real. But what I'm saying is, always leave up the potential, right? And again, this person's claiming this is a very early image, right? And I'm pretty sure that, if this was an actual, let's just look at it from the perspective of if this was a real image. Please keep in mind, it's not going to look like this, okay? Prototype images are just prototype images, right? A good example of that is prototype Pokemon Let's Go, right? If we look up at the Pokemon pictures of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, the prototype version, you will see what that looked like. It looked way more wacky, okay? This was the opening screen of the game, right? And this you guys can find over here on the cutting room floor, this website, where you guys can actually see what a lot of this looked like. the game was unfinished, unpolished, right? You can see right here, for example, if we compare this image, right? Like the grass looks a little bit more shitty. Here again, it's like the grass has been more like tuned up and shit, and Pikachu looks a little bit better. Again, you guys literally can see the grass looks awful on the left one, and looks way better on the right one. It actually even exists. Like on this one side, you can barely see it. This side, it actually exists. There's also more details and a better better filtering on the actual hat. You can actually see the lines much better on the right side one versus the left side one. My point is that prototype versions, they change, okay? This is like an early version that's being seen. If this is real, again, keep in mind, it's just me saying if it's real. No guarantee it is real. Highly possible this is total BS, okay? And I would highly recommend just to assume it's fake for now. However, what I'm trying to say is, please always have an open mind, okay? Have an open mind about these things. Don't get instantly like furious and start attacking it. But again, that's pretty much that. Let's move on to the next thing, which is a post again on 4chan. This one is saying that apparently they have some information about Legends Z-A, and this is what they say. Pokemon Z-A Zodiac. This is posted by the Zodiac poster, who says, until now, I've never been interested in leaking information on Pokemon games because of people who are more famous and certainly more reliable than any stranger on 4chan. But taking advantage of the fact that Q's credibility has gone down the toilet, I'd like to share the very little information that I have regarding ZA. Now, I don't know about the whole thing about Q's credibility. Q is still a credible source, in my opinion. I don't like the fact that people just kind of throw everything that he's ever done into the garbage and ignore all the times he's been 100% correct and just ignore that, but focus on the few times he's been wrong. Like, listen, it's the leaking game. It's the rumor game. Shit will always change. Things will be right, things will be wrong. It's all up for debate, guys. But nonetheless, let's move on to the next subject here, which is the actual post itself. I tend to point out that I am using a translator due to my linguistic deficiency in English. I apologize in advance. Let's get started. Now, the game seems to be set in the past, but not during or after the war that ended by AZ, but rather about 4 to 5 centuries before the events of X and Y. The city will be more developed than the village of Arceus, and will play as a novice trainer tasked with researching the location near the city area in order to study the past of the region and the events of the war. Now, apparently, the game will be open map or open world like Arceus, but Lumio City will be the main Lumio City will be the main protagonist of the game, where most of the main quests will take place, okay? We will see the development of the city, but what is shown in the teaser is only a future project that's only mentioned. The city will develop during the game's progress, but it will never become as you imagine it or as implied in the teaser. We will see, let's see, the game is still in an embryonic phase, very similar to the Sword and Shield leaks released years ago. So it's difficult to express an opinion on graphics, gameplay, or new functions, because they are currently using the Arceus models and the same animations and functions to test it. So I don't know how to give information on gameplay news, but I can give you one thing for sure. Between the end of May and the beginning of June, there'll be a trailer for a couple of Pokemon games for the end of this year, not developed by Game Freak, but I can't tell you if they are black or white or gold and silver. I don't want to go too far with false statements and hopes with uncertain information. Now, I've said this before, and I had a whole discussion about this in a previous video, but I'm going to bring it up again because I like to beat a dead horse. But basically, there is an actual realistic feeling here that there could be another Pokemon announcement this year, and it comes from the fact, and I'm going to show you this image here on the screen to kind of make my point clear, but Pokemon trailers and Pokemon Presents have happened in June and May. And Pokemon games have been announced in May and June. It's happened before. Example, on the screen right here, we had May 7th in 2014 was when Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was announced, not Pokemon Day. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon were announced in June 6th, not Pokemon Day. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were announced on the 30th of May, not Pokemon Day. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and of course Legends Arceus were announced on Pokemon Day, though. But my point is, there are chances of these things being announced at a different time frame. More recent times, the last few years, but again, things change, right? Like, this is why people tell me, like, 1 second people will defend patterns, but then the next second they won't, right? So try to be a little bit hypocritical on it, but I will say this, though, right? The thing I'm going to try to tell you is this, right? When it comes to Pokemon, like, information and Pokemon Presents and stuff, there is always a chance that things could drop, around an earlier time. Normally, speaking about it, right, if we're talking about the regular time frame for this stuff, last few years, starting from 2021, I would say, from about 2021 up until 2023, right, for the last, 3 years, they have done exactly 2 Presents every single year. One in February and one in August. One in February, one in August, one in February, one in August, and then now we've had one in February. The logical time, if they're going to follow this formula of only 2 Presents per year, would be, of course, August. But, like I said, in the past they have done things differently. In the past, they have been willing to do it in a different time frame. And that's where I'm pretty much at right now with this whole thing. I'm trying to just tell you that there's always a chance that we could see stuff, happening at an earlier time frame. That's pretty much all I'm at right now. And also, for some reason, my microphone is falling down, but it is what it is. So that's where we are in regards to that, guys. As for this rumor, it's a rumor. I'm not really going to take it as being real or anything as of yet. Just a rumor, man. It's all I can really say about it. There's not really much else. But yeah, it is what it is, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So we're going to leave it at that, guys, and move on to the next thing for this video, which is also this post that was made on 4chan. Now, this one's a bit goofy. It looks like a muck or it just looks like a muck, to be honest. That looks like a big turd for some reason. Apparently, this is the first Pokemon to be introduced in the upcoming games, which has been leaked. PLZA leaked render from Anonymous. Again, I highly doubt this is real, but again, who knows? I'm just covering it for fun, and I want to hear what you guys think about this one in the comment section down below. So what do you think about the ground type looking muck, okay? What do we feel about this one? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd just love to hear your theories on this one. This just seems like really funny to me, so I'd love to just hear what you guys think about it. So yeah, just let me know in the comment section down below, guys. What do you feel about this one? And yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys' responses are for this one. So yeah, either way, let's move on to the next thing. So this is going to be a post from none else than Soul Silver Art, of course, our leak analyst himself, who, of course, analyzes Pokemon riddles and theories and stuff like that. So he came out and said the following, which is, many have pointed this out already, but I believe that A in Pokemon Legends Z-A could represent a brand new Pokemon that this game revolves around. So, the Z has Zygarde hexagons in it, while the A has more like a leaf-like pattern in it. Now, Zygarde also already has technically over 3 forms, including 100% perfect form, so I don't think it will get another form in this game, unless it's like some kind of corrupted form. I think it will play a part in the story, but so will the A Pokemon. I personally think that this could be a Pokemon that's an alien Pokemon that's the origin of the Mega Crystals and the Sun and Moon Dial. Of course, there's also the fact that this looks like the ultimate weapon, which is connected to Xerneas and Yveltal, so it could be the origin of this weapon instead. The contrast of life and death theming would play out again with Zygarde, life and balance, and a Pokemon, death, weapon, and destruction. So he's trying to say that if we look at the actual A, the shape of the A that exists, it kind of reminds everybody, actually. You guys can actually see the roots, the actual roots coming up from throughout this weapon, right? It's sucking the life energy, or it's literally it's like a tree pulling things up, which of course is the tree of life, right? Which is the one that's very much present in any Norse mythology, and I guess he's trying to point towards that direction. Now again, I don't know if that's what this is. We're probably going to see something about that, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? There's also a bit of a theory here from a few people. Says that's Ogerpon's feet, and AZ is Ogerpon's original trainer from Ancient Kalos. That would be actually pretty weird. But yeah, it's pretty weird, man. It's pretty funny. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? Let me know. Again, this whole shape here, to be honest, I think everybody's noticed that it looks like AZ's weapon. It's not like something crazy. I feel like everybody looks like, I say AZ's weapon, but the ultimate weapon rather. It's kind of what it looks like anyway. So that's pretty much where we're at. Next up though is something a bit more annoying, which is this was posted by the Pokemon Company in the UK, right? And they basically posted Driftville City equals peak Unova, and they posted a YouTube short. And this was posted on the 29th of February, so slightly after, okay? Slightly after the actual announcements of Legends Z-A, which everybody was like, okay, this is them just messing with us at this point. This is them just mocking us at this point. Which, yeah, they literally posted a Pokemon Black and White freaking post, which is a bit insane. But yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you all think about this? Now, you got to remember, there are a lot of connections between Kalos and Unova. Now that I'm playing Pokemon X version on stream, which, by the way, I'll be live right after this video, but now that I'm playing the game, I have noticed and I have, had a feeling that there seems to be a lot more connections between the two. Like, for example, if you play the game, if you play X and Y, there's actually mentions of, connections or people going from Kalos to Unova and so on and so forth, and potentially even a, battle, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that part, but there is connections between the two regions, literally, actual connections, especially at the Perfume Palace. There you actually see literally Reshiram and Zekrom and whatnot, so I'm going to do a few theories on that. I'm playing through X and Y right now to make sure that I understand the game fully, so that when I go into theorizing that I have better knowledge. But moving on, we also have this bit of a theory here from Pokemon Pocket Line JP, who basically tweeted out saying, latest information seems that there was an unexpected foreshadowing, and here we have this building with again, a bunch of books of that look, Scarlet and Violet themed, which is very interesting. They are books that just look like the Scarlet and the Violet book. Then, of course, we have the Scarlet and Violet books in the library here from Pokemon Black and White as well. So both Pokemon X and Y and Black and White had those connections to Scarlet and Violet, seemingly, which again is just a fun little theory. No guarantees for that. It's just fun to speculate. But nonetheless, that's pretty much where that ends. Moving on, we have the final thingy we're going to talk about for this video, which is people need to realize that Z-A is being made by Game Freak's Team B. Now, this is the same team that made Pokémon Legends Arceus, so they had about 3 years to do this. Now, games do not start development as of announcement. Rather, they have been working on it for a long time already. This means that Team A, who did Scarlet and Violet plus DLC, has 2 to 3 years to develop Gen 10 for 2025 and 2026, learning off of the Switch 2. Which, of course, is realistic. Then, of course, Jan had to say, we should assume that Team A, after finishing the work of Scarlet and Violet, should have started the planning of Gen 10 already. Team B likely started working on ZA after PLA Daybreak was released, which is since 2022. A solid 3+ years if it releases in 2025, which, again, you can also see down here. Although Friday, January 31st, 2025 sounds like a nice release date for Pokemon Legends Z-A, I would not be surprised if the game releases instead on February 14th for Valentine's Day, since Paris is the city of love. February was once the 12th month, so 12 plus 14 equals 26. Z is letter 26. If they were to, take into account that kind of stuff, maybe they would do it like that, but who knows? I digress. I'll leave it at that. So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, that is what summarizes these things. There's a lot of theories, like I said. Again, guys, I'm doing these videos daily for you all. If you don't enjoy them, that's fine. You can leave a dislike. If you do enjoy them, you can feel free to leave a like. It's not necessary. If, of course, you guys want to see, my live stream, I'll be live right after this video goes up. So make sure to tune in. We're going to be playing Pokemon X and Y, trying to make it through the full game so I can understand the full plot of it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one, and peace out and bye-bye. And I'll see you in the next Pokemon countdown video for Pokemon Legends Z-A. Have a good day. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Have a good day. Bye.